The Share Center is going to be a little bit different than just an emergency shelter. There's going to be so many different wraparound services being provided for the clients, from food to the mental health services. What we want to do here at the Share Center is assess what the needs are, discover what the barriers are, and then be able to connect them to the communities that they want to live in. The goal of the Share Center isn't for people to stay here permanently, but it's for them to receive the services that they need and the help that they need to find and end their own cycle of homelessness.
A navigation center gives our partners a place to have a roof over their head, food, and the ability to get connected really concretely to services where they're going to find employment, housing, and roots within their community. So it's designed to give them all the supports they need to really find permanent housing and consistency in their life.
The whole purpose of a navigation center is to help get people back on track, to navigate, what their goal is and help them achieve that goal. And the shelter is really just a temporary way station for people to get into housing, to get to their goals. Because despite what people say, most people experiencing homelessness want to be housed.
Doing work on homelessness is doing God's work. It's never easy. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of leadership, and sometimes it's a rocky road. And that was certainly the case here in Salinas, where we were at a point when I first became a supervisor, where there wasn't a lot of openness to try to address the homelessness crisis that we knew was prevalent in Monterey County, but also throughout the state of California. It started when in 2017, and just trying to extend the opening of our warming shelter at the rail yard, the old Sizzler building. That was a very tense conversation. But from that struggle at that point in time, we then embarked on trying to find a permanent location. And I certainly, after that tense meeting, I reached out to the late Mayor Gunter and Supervisor Phillips to say, if that isn't the right place for a permanent shelter to continue, let's do a search and let's look all over Salinas where these possible sites could be. And so we did just that. We looked at numerous sites. We ended up opening a temporary shelter, but in the end, this particular location on East Laurel became the ultimate and the best site, I think, for a future permanent year-round shelter that we knew would be the first ever in Monterey County history, and a true partnership between the city and the county, and state funding that came our way. There was a point in time where not many people were interested in addressing homelessness. Obviously, at several years ago, we could be sitting for hours talking about what should we be doing in Monterey County, but there was just no resources to do anything. And it was really when the governor and the legislature made a commitment to bring significant resources, even passing a statewide homelessness bond, that we knew that things were going to change, that we knew that instead of talking about ideas, we could actually start carrying them out and bring them to fruition in our communities. And this was the first big project that we were able to accomplish.
It was really, I think, that moment of being able to have access to some funds when the Homeless Emergency Aid Program came available. That was $12.5 million that was available to the Monterey County, San Benito County Continuum of Care. So the county and the city partnered together to submit an application, and that resulted in really this facility. California has a homeless crisis, and Monterey County is no different. Housing is a problem, and affordable housing is a big problem. We are really seeing the gap increase between people who need housing and places that are affordable for people to go. We're finding a lot of families who are working, who have jobs, not be able to maintain a place to live. or be right on the brink of constantly potentially losing their housing because of affordability issues. One bad day, one bad situation can bring somebody to homelessness.
It's a real priority for both the city of Salinas and the county to focus on housing first. We recognize that there are a lot of issues that come along with homelessness, not having a job, perhaps mental illness, drug rehabilitation, alcohol abuse. But we've found, and through studies, it's really a focus on getting people housed first so that we can get them the case management. We can navigate them through the process of getting into permanent housing and getting better.
So they do have different rooms here, different areas. There's a learning area for youth and also for anybody who's willing to learn, but there'll be a designated area with computers there where youth can do their homework or children can do their homework. There's a children's play area, just kind of a space where they can have to play. There's picnic areas with picnic tables outside for individuals and families to congregate and eat. We could use the dining area, not only for dining, but a big Zumba class. And so there's definitely a lot of different spaces, and that we have the freedom to use the spaces differently to support the clients with different activities and different types of groups.
Leading somebody who's experiencing homelessness into services needs to be low barrier. Somebody who has been disconnected to services may have their pet with them. They may have their partner. And if our systems don't allow a couple to come in together or don't allow them to bring their pet in, they're not going to come in for help. They're going to remain where they can have those comforts, those supports that they need. So we really needed to look at our systems, make sure that we were tailoring what we're trying to provide to what they need so that they will come in.
We provide specialists in finding housing, working with landlords, and finding the actual units. And the actual navigation center brings that expertise together with our care coordinators who support them, connecting to services, setting goals, really getting down to the minute details, what they need to understand to actually get permanent housing, to have the employment that they need to support the permanent housing, and the skills to live with roommates or to make sure that they understand how to pay their bills on a regular basis, how to manage their checking account. We work with them on every level depending on their needs. So each person that comes to us has individual needs, and our system is based around really getting to know their situation, not just to find them housing, but to find them the right housing, to find them the connections that they need based on their goals, based on what their perspective is, that works for them.
I do have to give a lot of kudos to supervisors Phillips and Alejo and our mayor who passed away, Mayor Gunter, who really, I think, politically spearheaded the effort. We had, as staff too, we had talked about how challenging it was to have a shelter that would be only a warming shelter, only operating certain hours of the day, only at night, through the cold months, how difficult it really was to connect people to services and really have housing outcomes. And it's not really a best practice anymore. A better practice is looking at navigation services. And I have to say that, our Mayor Gunter, really listened to what staff had to say and really was a huge champion of this effort, along with our former Councilwoman Gloria de la Rosa, who was also really involved. And so I think the political will, having folks come on board really was a game changer. And then it was, really talking to the community about why this was so important.
I personally am pretty proud of the Sheriff Center, and it's something we should have done a long time ago, but it provides a place for the people that really need it. We've done it in a way that it shows the proper respect for these people. And we did it on budget, on time, working with the city of Salinas and the county of Monterey. And it's at the right location. We have the services around, the health department there, the Natividad Hospital is close by, the sheriff's department, probation department, things. So when you look and see in the social amenities that are provided there, especially even for the people that need to bring their dog in with them, we have that there. So I'm pretty proud of how that Sheriff Center turned out and looking forward to its opening.